Hello everyone, welcome back to Ayumu's BS Seminar. I'm your host Ayumu, and today we will look into the top 4 games of the Milan Grand Tour between Panagiotis and Andrea. From here on out, I will call Panagiotis just Panos because I believe that's his nickname. Just a disclaimer as well that the game footage is not fully recorded because there were some technical issues during the recording, causing around 5 to 10 minutes of the footage missing in the middle. But I'll try my best to explain what's going on if there's ever a need to. So first of all, let's look into Panos' list, which is a very typical era list, but there's one thing that really stands out is definitely the 3 copies of Star Altar, with the level 1 and 2 effect being during your attack step when one of your spirits with a soul corner is destroyed, select one of your spirits, place all the destroyed spirits cost onto it. But I believe that's not the main reason why Panos is using the Nessus. It's probably for the level 2 effect instead, which says during your attack step, when one of your Star Dragon spirits is blocked, you may exhaust this Nessus to refresh the spirit. So Panos does run 4 copies of Andromeda and also 2 copies of Meteor Emperor Seedworm, which both of them has the confront keyword. So pairing up with this Nessus can be a pretty good tempo strategy, albeit you might need quite a lot of costs to actually do something, especially for Andromeda, which needs 5 costs for the confront. Otherwise, I just think it's a very typical era list. He's only running 3 copies of Asian Draw, which is not something uncommon, but I think it's worth pointing it out because I suppose sometimes people might just be a little bit too brain dead about things and then just, think it's like, oh my god, I have to put 4 copies of Starblast Draw and 4 copies of Asian Draw into the list. But as you can see from a top 4 list, that's not always the case. There's also 3 copies of Deadly Balance, which again is not uncommon, but I would like to point that out just because especially I did face Panos during the Swiss rounds as well. He did use the Deadly Balance at some very good timings. So let's see if we can do it again in the games against Andrea. So we'll skip the side decks and then let's move on to Andrea's list, which is a white-blue Hydra Frost Tiger hybrid deck. Very interesting one. I'm pretty sure the Milan tournament was the first time that this variant actually popped up. Probably some people were using it before as well, but not as efficient as the other list. But obviously right now here we have a top 4 list. It's definitely more of a white base list because you have more white cards than the blue cards. I imagine what happened is probably Andrea was trying to build a white list, but then realized maybe just Frost Tiger is not a good enough finisher. So that's why he also threw in the Hydra, and then obviously we also have the Saphogua, and then 4 Labyrinth. And I think the interesting card to actually see here is the 10th Angel Eva Zero Consumed, which is one of the cards that actually a lot of people pay attention when the Eva set came out, because in an Hydra only list, 10th Angel could serve to be another finisher besides just using Hydra. And I suppose it's the same concept here for Andrea, just putting 1 copy of 10th Angel in there in case it actually needs something else to attack. And the good thing is that 10th Angel actually has a decent removal as well. Obviously it depends on the cards that 10th Angel managed to discard, but nonetheless, discarding 8 cards I believe from the deck, and then choosing one of the cards and then destroy all spirits with the same cost is actually pretty damn useful, especially for a white deck, which obviously doesn't actually have any removals. I mean, right now you have Tiger, but then he only targets 5k or less. So yeah, 10th Angel definitely saw some use in this tournament. Hopefully it will also be played during the game against Panos. I would really want to see 10th Angel put it into action, because I think it's one of the more interesting cards in this game for sure. And then the rest of the cards again, pretty typical actually. He's only playing 3 copies of Starblast Draw, which I don't know, I suppose he just thinks there's enough draw for this deck. To be fair, he is playing 4 copies of Norman God, and then, you know, obviously you got strong draw as well, things like that. And I think the game plan is usually just to try maintaining the board and doing some control with the lower cost cards, especially the 3 copies of Propercraft Snapper, which can just block limitlessly against cost for less spirits. And then also at level 2, when destroyed, it can recycle itself back to the hand. So it's a very consistent blocker until you manage to send out any of the big guys, you know, Hydra, Norman God, Frost Tiger, or even 10th Angel, etc. And I believe that's the playstyle that he's going for. So let's quickly move into the gameplay video. On the left we have Panos, and then on the right we have Andrea. So both of them are keeping, and then Panos is going first. So he got a Rubius out and then paid 3 for a Canyon, a really good start. And then now moving on to Andrea. Just a reminder that Andrea seems to be left-handed, so that's why the reserve is on his right side instead of the left side. So he played the bunny, which is the cost 0 variant, which draws you 1 at level 2. And then he just passed. Looks like he doesn't really have a good hand. But again, we look at his list, and then like he does have quite a lot of things that are top heavy. So Panos drop an Andromeda with the Canyon, and then use Starblast draw from hand to draw 2, and then also pass. So it's a very slow start for both players, but Andrea managed to summon a Figure out just to start building up the board a little bit. Figure also has red armor, so it can be pretty good against Panos. And then so Panos summoned a Dino Man and a swing of it at 6,000. Andrea decided to block with the bunny so that he can draw 1. Back to Andrea. Oh wow, he just called up Vicky and then passed the turn. Okay, definitely not a good start for Andrea. While Panos is slowly building up the board. There's the Star Altar. Yep, which Andrea has to read because it's definitely not a card that you see in tournament very often. And then he attacks with Dino Man again. Ooh, nice, there's the Flush Stream. Removing 2 spirits at once is a pretty good value, but unfortunately Panos is drawing from the Rubius, so like he's not losing too much here. And then Panos decided to use the Deadly Balance here. Interesting. So Panos is very dedicated to keep Andrea's board clear, which actually makes sense because he just has the momentum here, so he might as well keep at it. So Andrea played the Labyrinth, but Panos got an Andromeda, so that got blown up. But then Andrea has a Starblast draw to draw 4 in total actually. So Andrea attacks again, and then Panos attacks again, and then Andrea finally took a life. Another burst? Might be another Starblast draw actually. Ooh, is that Norman God? Yes it is. And then just pass. Okay, so I suppose Andrea is trying to draw more cards with the Norman God, or else he will have attacked with Norman God because he doesn't want to get confronted by Andromedas. Yeah. There's the Blazing Board to take something back up. The Rubius, okay. And let's play the Rubius. Interesting. Okay. Okay, I see what's going on. So Panos decided to not confront the Norman God and decided to low swing at Andrea so that Andrea cannot get any value from Norman God. So Andrea got the Ice Shield activated and ended the attack step. So now back to Andrea's turn. Putting Norman God at level 2. Might be time for him to start swinging. So there's a strong draw. What's he going to drop? Very tough decision. They probably have cards that he all the cards here actually wants them in their hand. So that's the Cappy board, and then a Sophocra. Makes sense, because he doesn't have any spirits with armor right now, so Cappy board is pretty useless, and obviously he doesn't have any spirits with Ascent, so Sophocra is also pretty useless here, considering it's also 4 cost because he doesn't have any blue reductions. So he just passed the turn without attacking, being really careful here. Well, since Panos does have enough cost to use the Dream Bomb, so it can be pretty bad for Andrea if Panos decides to just bounce the Norman Guard, because it doesn't mean he has to pay 7 to 8 cost to summon it back out again, and that will lose tempo a lot. So I believe Andrea is probably just waiting for either Hydra or Frost Tiger before he starts attacking. So I only realized now, but my camera doesn't show the trash for Panos, so I can't see what he's actually dropping. And he also forgot to refresh his spirits, but it doesn't matter because he summoned Hydra and just blow them all up anyway. So Panos will be drawing 4, 2 because he destroyed 2 spirits on this side and 2 spirits on Andrea's side, and then also 1 more because Rubius was at level 2. And then Panos put Hydra at level 3, but then he decided to summon another Rubius. That's swinging. Okay, so Andrea just had the Dream Bomb. Actually makes sense if he's not moving with that many cards in hand. Yeah, it probably has a lot of magic in hand. So Andrea decided to use the Flustering on the 1 Rubius, which is actually really interesting. I suppose Andrea doesn't want to use the Ice Shield here because he wants to keep himself at 3 lives. So, so he summoned a Norman Guard at level 2, which is actually very crucial because he want to take the calls back from the trash so that he can probably use magic cards from hand again. Oh, that's kind of misplay there. Well, I mean, it didn't really matter at the end, but yeah. So like he summoned the rabbit after the Norman Guard. He might have been able to do something else, but I guess, yeah, he would have saved 1 call and he might have been able to maybe put down another Nessus or something, but I guess it doesn't matter here. Okay, so Panos summoned a Blazing Ball to take back another Blazing Ball, which is a very interesting play that Panos has, but it's definitely something that a red player can do, is that when you have multiple copies of Blazing Ball, just start summoning them, leaving 1 copy in hand, and then just swing at the opponent, and then next turn repeat. So for example, if your deck has like 3 Blazing Balls, that means, and then you have all 3 copies in hand and in trash, it means you have at least 2 attackers every turn, which can be a really high pressure to the opponent. So he decided to low swing again with Rubius first, and then Panos gets to draw 1, and then attacking with Blazing Ball, and Andrea decides to block with the bunny, and Andrea gets to draw 1. So Andrea is still very dedicated to not use the Ice Shield yet, which actually makes sense. He seems to be maintaining the game pretty fine right now, and he got another Norman Guard, so it definitely seems to be doing alright. He got the spare cost to use suppression as well, so Andrea is actually in a pretty safe position, even in consideration of his board. It doesn't really matter if Panos is at 5 lives, because 1, he can refresh, well, he can heal back to 5 with Nova anyway, and then also 2, Andrea is using Hydra, so he can potentially just take all 5 lives in 1 turn as well. So Panos has another Star Altar out. Considering, because I can imagine that Panos would have quite a big hand size already. It's not doing a lot actually. So he play a big Grand Energy. Is he trying? Oh, but he's at 5 lives, so I guess he's just trying to spam like at least 3 Star Dragons out maybe. Or is he just trying to summon another era here to just get rid of Norman Guards? Yep. Oh no, he has sent over the Blazing Ball. Okay. Interesting. Ah, and then there's a second one. Okay. Yep, Panos is definitely going aggressive here. And then Panos gets to draw 2, while Andrea draws 6 and gains 6 cores. And he was counting Panos' deck. So he might be stalling and going for the mill tactic here, which again actually makes sense because the red player can heal with Nova. So Andrea took 2 lives, opened the ice shield, back from 2 lives, from 1, and then and then continue with his turn. So I was going to say, since there's Nova to heal anyway, it's actually quite tough for Andrea to just try to go to take all the lives that Panos has and to win the game that way. So it's actually much better for him to stall, and then right now, as we can see, he's probably trying to summon Hydra and then just try to deck out Panos. Okay, maybe not Hydra. Ooh, that's the 10th Angel. Nice. Okay, yeah. And then Panos just conceded because when Angel swings, that will be milling 8 from the Angel and 5 each from each Sophocles. So that will be 18 cards in total, which will be enough to mill out Panos. So that was game 1. Very interesting matchup, I would say. And so while they're deciding on the side, let us also quickly look at what each player might side in as well. That list will be in attached with a link in the description below. You can check them out yourselves. So for Panos, I don't really know actually. Ritual Fire might be going in because Andrea does have quite a lot of low cost spirits, well, low BP spirits, sorry. And then the 1 copy of Tricera will also be going in because it's facing white and he wanna avoid the bouncing as much as possible. Giantwood Castle Key might also be an option actually, because he wanna avoid Andrea from gaining value from the Norman gods. And then the extra 1 copy of Dream Bomb, debatable, but I think there won't be enough space for Panos to actually fit anything more in. And on the other hand, for Andrea, probably 1 more copy of Suppression because Panos does seem to be going quite aggressive. Another copy of Inescapable Avalanche might also be possible. And then 1 copy of Temple Rex, probably not because it's not worth the effort when Panos can just blow it up with Era or even with Nova. To be fair, there are lots of things that Andrea might be able to side in because like Callista, Nova, Maduka, or even an extra copy of Frost Tiger can be pretty useful against Panos. But we will see. It seems that Andrea might just go for the mill tactic again, so he's just gonna focus on stalling. And as Panos start going first again, and then got the exact same start at the last game with Rubius, and then a copy of Canyon. Andrea got the Vicky out with the red armor, so that's a pretty decent start as well. And back to Panos' turn. I can't see, but I think he dropped a Nova there actually. Yep, which actually makes sense because obviously you can't really use Nova as such an early game. So Panos decided to swing with Rubius, which is actually a 3000 thanks to the 1k boost to Canyon, so it would be a trade with Vicky. So Andrea has to take the life there to save his spirit and also 1 reduction on the field. And they just call up Vicky to 5k and just pass. He actually might have a suppression in hand because he has enough cores to do that as well. So Panos draw the Big Bang Energy with the Canyon, play a Star Altar, and then Asian draw. Not bad. Oh, the 1 copy of Tricera going to the bottom. That is really bad for Panos. Yep, so Panos cannot attack. Well, he can because he still get 1 draw from Rubius, but it's not worth the effort because he can draw in other ways with red anyway. So it's might as well keeping Rubius on the field for the 1 extra symbol would be good as well. So Andrea used the strong draw, drop another Vicky, and then an Avalanche. Which actually makes sense. He probably has a lot of other defense in hand. Oh, Panos dropped a Star Blast draw with the Canyon. Interesting. And then got Meteor Seed Worm at level 2 because he got a Nova in hand, so in trash, sorry. So like Seedworm will have to confront as well. So Andrea uses suppression on Vicky to decide to trade with the Seedworm. So, and that leaves them open for Rubius to attack and take another life from Andrea. Thinking really hard. Paying 4 for Norman City. And then a Norman Guard. Okay. Okay, not bad. Not some bad cards on the board. We just pray that Panos doesn't have an Andromeda here. Okay, dropping a Seedworm. So it might have it. Yep, that's the Andromeda. Bring up the Norman City. And then he tries to low swing again. Just trying to get that Ice Shield off from Andrea. Ooh, is that not an Ice Shield? Ooh, okay. So Andrea knows that Panos might just gonna be swinging with Andromeda if he blocks the Rubius. So instead of giving one draw from the Rubius, he just decided to just take the life. Because obviously Norman Guard is at 7k and Andromeda is only at 4k, so he can't attack. So Panos cannot attack with Andromeda if Norman Guard is standing anyway. Right, so just now was the part where the recording cuts off. So now we're back with some parts of the game being skipped. So as you can see, the board states actually changed quite a lot. So right now, Panos decided to summon Nova to ascend over the Grey, I believe. I actually didn't notice. And then obviously not to use the life heal because it's still at 4 lives, so there's no point. And then attacks with Nova will cast will keep it level 2 and just blow up the Norman Guard. So now the Norman Guard cannot activate the draw and the core boost as well. And then also string at 13k. But Andrea does have the inescapable Avalanche. Yep, so now back to Andrea's turn, using Storm Draw to draw 3 and drop 2. Let's see what he's dropping. Norman City, which makes sense. He has enough reductions on the field right now, so like he doesn't actually need any more reductions, especially since after you place it down, probably just gonna get blown up by Andromeda again. Or 2 Norman City. Okay then. I thought like there might be a chance that he also has another copy in hand, so that's why he doesn't need it, but no, he just decided to drop both copies of Norman City. And we know that just now that he also had a third one on the board, but it got blown up by Andromeda. Okay, so now Andrea decided to go for full swing, but wow, so Panos decided to use the Ice Shield at 4 lives, which is an interesting choice. Yep, he hasn't healed with Nova yet, so he can still heal it back later. So, oh, I do wonder why he decided to use the Ice Shield here. Well, obviously we know that Andrea is going to full swing anyway because he has the Soul Core in the reserve, and probably that means he has a suppression in hand to use on Callista. They're counting something. I don't know what he was counting for. I think it was Norman God actually. So he's paying 6 for an era. Clearing the board. Snapper goes back to hand because of the level 2 and destroy effect. Okay, another inescapable Avalanche. Okay, he might be counting Dream Bomb just now, something like that. But yeah, but either way, Era got bounced back to hand, so Andrea survives for another turn. Andrea might also be running low on magic as well, so he knows he probably has to start rushing Panos down now. Ooh, nice. So that's the Maduke. Is this gonna be a Dream Bomb? I couldn't see it. Yeah, goes back to hand. That's a Dream Bomb. And the Panos stuck alive without activating Ice Shield. Ooh, is Andrea going to go for the Mew tactic again? Okay, so he decided to just pass. Yeah, so fortunately the footage didn't skip a lot because obviously the life changed. Well, like both players' life didn't change a lot, so that means, you know, the game didn't actually advance that much. So Panos summoned Grey by paying with the Soul Core, and then so now Eras be summoned at 3-3 cost, meaning 0 cost, and then clear the board again. Summon Blazing Ball to take back the Grey, probably getting ready for Nova later on, or maybe, you know, can be another era as well. Especially since like, oh wow, okay, wow. Okay, that's a Dream Bomb. And then an Ice Shield. Okay, makes sense. Can Andrea survive in this situation? I'll be interested to see. Because it keeps bouncing the era to hand. So Panos can just keep summoning era every turn. And like keep clearing his board. And it's very hard for Andrea to try to come back with an empty board as well. He might be going for... Okay, does he have the frog? No. Is he just gonna summon 10th Angel like that? Yep, okay. Okay, mill 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No cost 9 unfortunately. And no cost 0 either, so cannot blow up the Rubius as well. Okay, so now they're counting the magic in the in Andrea's trash. That's a lot of bounce magic. How many there are? 6. 6 of the bounce magic. And then 2 Ice Shield I think it was. Yep, and then so... Panos just... Actually, what did Panos did? Let me rewind a little bit real quick. Oh, Deadly Balance, okay. So back to Panos' turn. Summon the Grey again. And another era. Okay, destroy Labyrinth and Andromeda as well. Ooh, another Dream Bomb. And then another Ice Shield. Okay, yep, so Panos decked himself out. So that was the win for Andrea. So that was the game. Sorry that I couldn't show you the full thing. Honestly, that was probably one of the best recordings I've had on my channel. Both players have been using some unusual cards to the best of their abilities. You know, there's the Giant Wood Castle Key, which happens to be in some side decks for the other decks as well, but you don't really see it being used that often. And then also there's the Star Altar, Snapper, and then also the first debut of 10th Angel, Unit 0 consumed. So it was a lot of interesting cards in the game, and obviously it was also very unusual for a player to get both wins by decking out someone. So I hope you guys also enjoyed those games. This is the end of this video, and I'll see you guys in the final games. Thank you and bye bye.